Everybody in this room has some sort of that. They say giriftari, ya sakhti, ya mushkil. Everyone is going through something. Islam has recognized that and presented a beautiful philosophy on how to handle these problems. And I want to very briefly mention these for you one by one, inshallah. Number one, they say in our books, and Ayatollah Makaram Shirazi, may Allah protect him, inshallah. He's one of our great maraji in Qum. He has a book on Usul Aqaid. And in there, in the section on Allah's justice, he talks about the philosophy of hardships. He says problems and mushkilats give nurture to life, or give meaning to life, sorry. Let me explain that to you. Do we have any heart surgeons in the audience right now? Any cardiologists? MashaAllah. Allahumma salli. Dr. Saab will tell you that when someone comes in to have their heart checked, and follow me, it's a nice example. It's not mine, it's Ayatullah's. When someone comes in to have their heart checked, you attach to them a monitor, a heart monitor, for a reading. You have one of two readings on that heart monitor. One reading is this reading of a graph that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And that signifies what? That everything is okay. That your heart is good, you have life inside of you. One reading is the straight line that goes dee. That's a reading that says inna lillahi. That's a reading that nobody wants. This small heart monitor is telling us so much. That this heart monitor is saying what Islam tells us. That a sign of life is ups and downs, and a sign of a dead life is a straight line where there is no ups and downs. Understand that Islam, in its philosophy of hardships, is teaching us that without hardships, there's no meaning to life. And my elders who are wiser than me, smarter than me, have lived longer than I have, and may Allah protect you and secure you in your homes, inshallah, can vouch for me and say that, you know what, when you conquer one mushkilat, you have this sense of strength. And when you look back to your life, for those of you who, like I said yesterday, who migrated here, you think back, how did I even go through those times? How did we manage? How did we survive? But you did it. And it gave meaning to your life. You didn't hide away, you didn't board the first plane back to Pakistan or India or Iran and say, I can't do this. No, you stuck it through, and you did it. Now if you look back to it, you can't imagine going through that again. But it nurtured you, it gave you meaning to life. That one heart monitor teaching us so much. Second example I have for you, it's a story. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. There was a term in Farsi called gire. It's in Urdu too, I think. Gire in Farsi has two meanings. One is an actual knot, and one is mushkilats and problems. Keep that in the back of your head for the story. There was an old faqir, an old individual who was unfortunate. And he would make it a point to go to the bakery every single morning to get his piece of naan, piece of bread, so he can eat in the morning. He found a baker who was able to give him a piece of bread as a donation, and he was very happy. One day he went to the baker and said, look, help me with my life. I want to do something with my life. I don't want to come to you every single morning. The baker had an idea. He said, look, I'll give you grains of wheat. If you grow them, you'll have your own wheat. You can sell it to the market, to the farm, whatever, and you can have your own living. It's just fantastic, great idea. The next morning he comes, he's given a sack of grains. He puts it in his shirt, and he ties a knot to make sure that those grains don't go anywhere. That's his sustenance now. Follow me for a second. He's going back to his home. He's very muttaqi, mashallah, pious, nice beard, big imam, big sajda sign on his forehead. He's saying, Ya Allah, please help me with my problems. Ya Allah, bless me with risk. Ya Allah, open my gire, solve my gire, open my gire, solve my gire. I mentioned gire has two meanings. One is knot, one is problems. He gets to his house, he opens the door, he looks down, he sees the knot is opened and the grains are gone. Then he gets upset. He says, I don't know what kind of God you are. I meant this gire, not that gire. I meant for you to solve my problems, not open up my knot. You don't even know that much, you're the creator. He went off on God. And when he was done his rant, he went down, he kneeled, he picked up grain by grain by grain by grain. When he reached the last grain, there was a sack of money with his name on it. He fell into sajda and said, sorry about that, God. The philosophy of the story is what? The biggest philosophy we have of problems is that they test our iman and test our faith. That hardships really is the biggest sign of a test. And really our imams, our prophets, Nabi Ayyub, Imam Hussein, all these different prophets and nabis and prophets and imams that went through these problems, they were being tested. The third philosophy is that a lot of the problems that we go through are man-made. That let's not be so quick to blame Allah for every mushkilat and every problem that we have in our life. The stat that I read, which is very disturbing for me, is that they say that 3% of the world's population, 3% of the world's population owns 65% of the world's resources. We're here in this continent, this part of the world. The problem we have with youngsters is obesity. It's a big epidemic in America. In Africa, it's malnutrition. We're here, they don't have enough food, they have too much food to eat. In Africa, they don't have enough to eat. Is that God's fault? Do we blame Allah for that? Or do we blame man's hunger, man's greed, man's powerful ego for that problem? So understanding, and my youth especially, you guys are at a stage in your life where you're asked to make, like I said yesterday, critical decisions in your life. Don't hide from it. Don't run from it. Hop over that first hurdle with pride and gain momentum in life. Because your elders will be the first ones to say that if you think it's hard now, wait till you get to my age. So our first enemy, and again I'm running out of time, tomorrow we'll continue this discussion. Our first enemy is shaitan. Open enemy, declared enemy, no confusion about it. Our second enemy is our mindset. That sometimes we believe for a moment that we can't do this. And that's a whole discussion on hope and hopelessness that I want to have later on in the week. But keep that in the back of your head. The third one is your nafs, your inner enemy. If shaitan is your outer enemy, your nafs is your inner enemy. We understand very briefly, very briefly, that we have 5 senses of the body. The sense to taste, to see, to hear, to smell, to touch. The nafs has 4 powers in it as well. And alhamdulillah, you've had enough speakers here to understand